and welcome back to ETV Power Women. I've been having a really interesting chat with Mel. We've touched a lot actually on your professional life, so I think it's time for me to ask you a little bit about your personal life. Tell us a little bit, because you mentioned earlier that you've got a very sort of close-knit family. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have a younger brother.
Right.
We have a 7-year gap.
Okay.
But he's like an elder brother now, so
yeah.
kind
Is he
of.
very protective of you?
Yes, I think he has a very hands-off approach. But we'd go dancing together in class. So we get coupled as your wife. Where is she today? And I laugh away. Oh, your wife is a younger sister. So
which is always nice to hear.
Yeah, but he's very protective that way. And he's brilliant. He's done his own. He's gone ahead in life, picking up qualification after qualification. So he's a very serious person. My parents run a family business. My dad is an accountant, but they're involved in their own thing, and they have put up with my ungodly working hours.
Yeah. How do they find? I mean, how do they feel about you in the field that you're in?
They were very. Well, my father said it was at the beginning, oh, you wouldn't last there. That was at the Sunday Times, because I used to work for a lady. He said, this is very good, but it's not you, you know, this. But strangely, I have survived. And when things go wrong and, in the country, and he says, it's time you give up the thing, and found a job in an office. For him, an office is nicely dressed in a sari or an outfit, and
doing 9 to 5 and back at home, time for tea kind of thing.
Yeah, the traditional womanish stuff, the flowers. It's not me. So I say yes, yes, why not? And then now he's given up asking that. Only thing he says, be careful. So sometimes I discuss work at home, but most often I don't, because the people and the issues I deal with are a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make them feel scared.
Yeah.
But if it's something fun, yes, I would go home and tell.
How do you find time to relax? I mean, what do you do to relax?
Currently, I'm involved with the choir called Contempo. It's a past Bridgettian's choir, so we're busy with the show.
Okay.
And and we also have stuff till Christmas. So these days, my evenings, they take up my evenings, and that it kind of saps your energy. But otherwise, I meet up with friends on other days till about 7. Because I hate driving in the traffic, so
don't we all?
So we meet up for a quick coffee or at some juice bar, and we just hang out and laugh a bit. So that takes an hour. So then I switch off and go home. Also, sometimes it's a dinner thing, so it's work related something. These corporate events are in the evening, so they again take up your time. And otherwise, it's when I go home, it's reading. I read a magazine or something for a few minutes, or a book if I'm engrossed in one. Yeah. And it's bed. Mornings I work out at the gym, so that takes an hour and a half.
Okay, wow, an hour and a half workout. That's really disciplined of you.
Well, that's the only time I have to myself.
I mean, your job is very stressful, and you deal with all sorts of things on a day-to-day basis. You never know what's coming. I mean, do you find that quite sort of exhilarating, not knowing day to day, okay, I could turn up today and be in the middle of something completely crazy? I mean, do you get,
that's actually what keeps us going as journalists, because the unknown factor. Yeah. And that's the adrenaline. You never know about your days, and I like it. That's why I realized about 4 years into this profession that I would never fit back in an office environment. Yeah. I hate sitting down and typing nice emails out to people and sitting in boring meetings. Yeah. So because I want to be out on the field. When I get on the road, even when I was coming here today, I was noting something's done. I was thinking, hey, I must work on this story. You always see things, and as a result, mentally I'm switched off, but sometimes I think unsubconsciously I'm still working.
Yeah, you never stop. There's always something.
I pick up something and I think I must look a bit about this or something. So it's because the profession is so wide, and the scope to do anything if you put your head into it. It's the hardest part is to get the background and the work towards it, and then it's getting their voice, the story out. That's it.
Right. Well, we're going to take another little break. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to be back with Mel as she has a look at the confession cam, which is all lovely stuff. So we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to ETV Power Women. I've prepared Mel for her confession cam, as we like to call it, where we've met a couple of your friends and family, and they've had some, lovely things to say about you. So we're going to take a quick look at that. So it's just going to come up on screen for you now.
Well, I've known Mel for about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years now, and I've worked with her for about 6 of them. Working with Mel was good. I learned a lot from her, and as far as who she is as a person, I'd say professionally, she's a very motivated, driven, she's a go-getter. That's who she is. She has a flair for she's a flair for looking at things out of the ordinary and turning it into something big. Because if you look at LBO, it started out as an idea, and to be able to lead that into one of the most respected business programs today is quite a huge achievement, and she was able to do that. Personally, like I said, known Mel for about 9 years now. She's a lot of fun. She's a good friend now. If I had to sum it up in a word, maybe I'd say Mel is friendly. She's very much a people person. That's always been one of her most outstanding features, I think.
I would say Mel, who has been, with the time that she started going to school, she's been a very quiet person during that time. And my daughter also went to the same school, and they had a wonderful relationship. And what I see of her now, her profession, I didn't see that coming during her school time, because that was the time she was very interested in music, singing, and lots of other extracurricular activities. So I never expected her to sort of, get into this field. But maybe I think after she came out of school, and then when she went to university in London, I think this whole thing grew into, I think that atmosphere there is what helped her, sort of always to be with this, What happened was, I think she took part in lots of music programs there. And from that, I think a lot of these things have evolved. She's quite a witty person, but the thing is, during that time, she used to not speak it out, her humor and things. But I found of late, when that was when she was in England, she used to send me wonderful cards, and that spoke a lot. It needn't be my birthday, but just to say hi. Those cards were so witty, they were so thought-provoking, and I was wondering, oh, so that was where she was going, you see, with writing. I think when it came to her career, I think she takes it very seriously. Outside of the job, I think she's very helpful, but there are times that she doesn't want to stand any nonsense. She's very cut and dry. That doesn't suit most of us, because we liked a little extra, a little extra fussing and a little inquiring as to why and how. But she doesn't sort of give into that, Maybe it's a profession. So anyway, we have learned over the years to adjust ourselves to it. But I think otherwise she can handle a situation any given time. She can think on her feet, which I think is very good.
Yeah, she had a lot to say about you. But both of them actually sort of, say that you're very sort of professional and very hardworking and driven. And where do you think that drive sort of comes from?
Frankly, I don't know. Actually, it's simply because from where we were brought up not to shirk duties, you have to put the shoulder to the wheel and take up a job. If you my dad used to always say, you work for the company, you work 100%. Whatever you do it for them. And that is, I think, drill this into the system where you just take it up and do it, and I forget the consequences afterwards. I go back scratching my head saying, I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I should have dropped that project. But for the moment, it just comes, you know, where you step up and do things, and I don't think beyond it afterwards. It comes naturally.
Tell us a little bit about LBO, Mel, because we've hardly touched on it, and I know it's, you know, a sort of vital part of who you are, really.
It's a very funny start because the guy who, the gentleman who owns the company, he we were chatting on doing a magazine. And I don't know what happened to the magazine, but we're still doing a magazine in the offing. But it was at a time in, I think, 1999 or late 1999, where he was saying internet is the way to go, and it's a new way of delivering news. Journalists go out and take their own pictures, and they film their own thing on their mobile phones. It was kind of like rocket science to me, because I only read about it on the net. Internet was a dial-up in an absolutely crappy
back in the day.
Back in the days, yeah, exactly. So he said, we want to start this thing, and didn't ask would you be interested. He said, you know, we want you to start this. So I said, yeah, okay, because it was something different for what I was doing. And he said, you only need to write. You don't have to bother about anything else. So I said, I don't know anything on internet besides sending email and you know, surfing a bit. He said, you don't need to know anything. So it turned out to be, I had to even find the name.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So basically he just kind of put it all there and said, you know.
So we had to come up with the whole product down to the scope of who our market was going to be, and what sort of people we were going to hire, down to finding a name for a website. I had never done this stuff in my life. So we moved on to, we had the TV version was also slightly different. I wanted it to be on the lines of the BBC has a short 30-second type of thing.
Okay.
And we used to watch and figure out, try to see how they did it. So we did things by just looking at others. Yeah, we had our own radio version, which scuttled because of the recession at that time in 2001. And we got into mobile phones way before everyone has started.
Yeah, with your alerts and stuff.
But the problem is that at the time, mobile penetration was also quite low, and people didn't want to pay for content. So the project was scuttled. I think last year they started it all over again.
Right, okay.
But email alerts and stuff, this is all what we learned on the job. And it was a huge learning experience because managing people who are, I believe in hiring people who are far more better than educated and far more intelligent than me, and managing all this hot air, all these young kids are dying, brimming with ideas, was a huge challenge because I had to do my work, and they have fight, not professional, you know, they have bickering and stuff. So at the end of the day, they were all focused that the product should come out looking good.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break. And the lovely people at Pond's Age Miracle are sponsoring what we call the dreaded 10. So when we come back, quick rapid fire question round, so prepare yourself for that. But don't go anywhere because we're going to be right back after this break. Hi and welcome back to ETV Power Women. We're actually just about to do the dreaded 10, which is brought to you by Pond's Age Miracle. As I explained earlier, I'm just going to ask you these questions, and I want you to just, you know, the first thing that comes to your mind, I don't want you to kind of think about it too much, just boom, 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 yeah? Okay, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
I mean, we call them dreaded, but they're actually not that dreaded, so. First of all, if you were covering a story on world hunger, and you saw a child dying on the roadside, would you photograph it first or feed it?
Feed it.
Feed it, okay. If you were able to die and come back as a person or a thing, what or who would it be?
It would be one of my dogs.
Yeah? Okay. I'm very spoiled, are they?
Exactly.
Okay. What do you wish you had invented?
It's a hard one. Time, actually.
Yeah?
Yes, because it's a very precious thing for everybody in life.
Okay, well, good answer. If a spaceship landed outside right now and you could get in it, where would you ask it to take you? I mean, it could take you anywhere. Where would you go?
I don't mind a ride to the International Space Station.
Okay.
To go and check out how I think the ride there would be very interesting.
Would you give up your job for the man of your dreams?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
It depends.
How dreamy he was.
No, it all depends because I would remain in some stages, I guess, writing in something. But my routine day-to-day work, yeah, definitely, because I need to switch off at some stage.
Okay, fair enough. How would you react if a man came up to you and said, that dress, those pants would look great on the floor next to my bed?
Get lost.
What's the worst feeling in the world?
In the world?
Yeah, what's the worst feeling?
The fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Lots of people, poor and even the rich, they get scared of not knowing what the next moment would be.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Plenty
Haven't we all?
What song's running through your head right now? I mean,
Right now, it's a song called September. It's because I remember the words for it and I keep forgetting the order.
if you could travel anywhere in time, where would you go?
I would go back to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Because I love that place. It was every stone was history.
Okay, well, that was your dreaded 10, as I said.
So bad.
They're not that bad. I think we should make them a lot tougher. Thank you so much, Mel, for agreeing to come on the show and sort of, spending some time with us. I'm sure everyone at home really appreciates it as well. Yeah. And yeah, it's been wonderful having you here. But we've got to say goodbye, unfortunately. But don't forget to tune in next week to ETV Power Women. And also, if you would like to get online and have a look at our website, it is www.etvpowerwomen.blogspot.com. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I said it. So until next week, goodbye.
Thanks.